Right now, we'd like to give you the chance to get to know somebody a little bit better. Clayton Rutschow is a graduating senior who, at the filming of this interview, was in rehearsals for the role of Max Bialystock in our main stage season closer, The Producers. Earlier this year, he was Nick in Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, earning a Kennedy Center American College Theater Festival Irene Ryan Acting Scholarship nomination for that, which he took to the regional festival in Ames and was named first alternate, which is third in the region. Also, he played the lead role of Odysseus in the Odyssey, which also went to the Kennedy Center Region 5 Festival in Ames and has been invited to the Kennedy Center for a performance on April 21st. Needless to say, it's been a big year for Clayton, and we just thought you'd like to get to know him a little bit better.
Hello, my name is Clayton Rutschow, and I will be a graduating senior in the spring term of 2011. And, where to begin? It's been one heck of a ride for sure. I came here my freshman year. I was a transfer student from Coe College, and I was a double major, creative writing and theater. And now where I end up is BFA acting theater major. And wow, what's it taken to get here? I'd say if nothing else, it's a triumph of perseverance. I love that particular phrase, but hey, what the heck? I'll just throw it out there. And that was probably the most important thing I learned from my entire experience here at MSU in the theater. Keep going. No matter what kind of work you put in, as long as you're willing to put in the hard enough work, good things are going to come out of it. Persevere. And that's one of the things that helped me realize why I wanted to do theater. Because my imagination was being far more stimulated, I found, when I was in the theater department. Not that the writing department wasn't stimulating me, but I found that it was just my place in the theater department. It was helping me just grow as a person, helping me grow as a student, and that was more important to me. So it took a lot of hard work for that, though. And that was probably the biggest lesson I learned here, is that, just keep trucking no matter what happens. And, let's see. Along with that, though, came the experiences that led up to this point, things I look back on with a lot of fondness. And at the time, standing in front of my TV screen, not watching TV, just blankly staring because I was so nervous for some of the things that were coming up. But Smokey Joe's Cafe, for example, was in the Highland Summer Theater, and my first big musical theater role, and I was singing out of my range, kind of. I mean, I could handle it, obviously, but it wasn't quite comfortable. But it was one of those things where I just had to push it, and I had to work really hard because I wasn't familiar with the dancing too much. I wasn't quite familiar with the musicality of it, the idea of naturalizing all those things that you need to have for musicals. I didn't have the operatic voice of some of the other cast members, and it was really good to be able to learn from them. And I had a great director who really helped me and coached me along, musically and acting-wise. And that was the show that established the pace that I needed to take for the rest of my college career. That one I knew, because I was least experienced, I had to put in as much time as I possibly could to make sure that I was on par with a lot of other people who were very, very talented. Keeping up with that was definitely a challenge, but as I've learned later on, especially this year, it's in the challenging times, it's in those really hard times that when you dig deep enough, you find out exactly what you're made of. And that's part of the fun. When you challenge yourself, you have to dig deeper every time. Because the work that you put out there, when people call it good work, it's only going to be good work if you can continue to work at that level again. So, it comes back to the perseverance thing that I was talking about, shifting from writing to here and just finding what your calling is and then just gunning for it with everything you have. And here we are at the Odyssey, the show that went to Ames, Iowa, and is now not competing anymore, performing at in Washington, D.C. at the Kennedy Center. I'm not excited at all, but let's see. What was that like? The whole experience from that, getting cast as Nick in Virginia Woolf and then having overlapping rehearsals, knowing what that was going to be was daunting at first. Knowing I was going to be doing two roles at once, especially with characters who were pretty opposite. Nick is definitely not a hero. He kind of lies in wait. He's kind of a snake in the weeds. And Odysseus, whereas he's a schemer and he's a trickster, he definitely has a plan. He's much more charismatic as far as a character goes, and he's the leader. He's bold. He will take charge and take responsibility. He's not just going to sit there and wait for his moment, although he does do that at times, but there's a difference. And let's see, going from one rehearsal to the next was interesting just because it amazed me at what kind of a field I'm in and how much I love this, because where else in the world can you go from playing kind of a sleazy guy in a modern contemporary kind of setting and then into ancient Greece where monsters and gods still inhabit the earth and men are judged by the strength of their arm, and back in the days of battle, an honor was so important to everyone, and where else can you do that? In what other place? I mean, it's one of the reasons why I was interested in writing, because I love creating those stories, but I love theater because I get to live those stories. So when you look at the kind of the dream that this has been, coming into that and being able to partition that part of my mind from Nick into being able to go to Odysseus, what a great thing that was, how difficult it was at times, but in the end, yeah, it comes back to what do you really want, how deep you're going to dig for it. And I would like to think that that has helped me really develop as who I am, as the man that I want to be and what I want to take into my future. Because, well, for one thing, I knew for sure that I had needed to be off book as soon as possible for the Odyssey because I was stacking it on top of another show. I came into the first rehearsal I was in and just started doing my thing, and it was a necessity. It was definitely one of those things I had to do to survive if I was going to play these two characters at once. And the same thing happens with the producers now, because with the Odyssey, we'll be overlapping those rehearsals as well. So I knew I had to be off book as soon as possible for the producers as well, which was no easy feat considering Betrayed. That song is just... Nathan Maine, I salute you, and Mel Brooks, well, that was one difficult piece you wrote, but man, it's good. And so... But at the same time, I say it was no easy feat, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn, because that was something that I had to do it. I knew that that was the only way I was going to be able to do justice to both the characters, because keeping them both in my mind at once. And other people are doing the exact same thing. In the Odyssey, I don't even realize how some of these people are moving the sets, playing one character, moving the set again, coming back on as a completely different character, and everyone's giving an credible performance. And all I get to do is I get to stand out there on stage and I get to talk to the audience, and well, that's fun and all, but I didn't get to see it until the DVD when I saw how much work was going on behind me, and I was just fascinated at what was happening. And I was glad that I couldn't notice that when I was up there acting, but then when I saw it, I was thinking to myself, wow, I wish I could just watch the show because there's so much going on and so many people are putting in so much work, and the exact same thing is going on in the producers, and what kind of process that is that we all go through and how we're all putting in the work, and now everyone else is having that feeling of what's like when shows overlap, and everyone's stepping up to the plate. And I think that's one of the other things I've taken from my time here is the fact that I would be nowhere, none of my accomplishments would have meant anything without the people who have helped me get here. My fellow cast members, my directors, my friends in the department, everyone. There's really no other good way to explain it. I came from the creative writing major, and I thought I knew what I was doing with acting, and well, things changed pretty drastically, and here I am now. And I realized that it's been the people who push me, the people who have put me in the situations to push myself with overlapping shows, for example. And now everyone's got that, and I feel very fortunate in the fact that we have people in this department who are passionate about theater, who want us to succeed, who will give us those opportunities. And yeah, I mean, sometimes it's kind of it's kind of like, what is it, the anesthetic that you pour on sores and cuts. It burns, but it cleans it and makes it better. And sometimes we have to go into it with that kind of mindset, perhaps, is the idea that, well, they're going to push us and it's going to hurt, but the end result, look where the Odyssey's going. Look at how much work that we've done for that. And it might have hurt at times, especially at 11 o'clock at night with the tests the next day that we hadn't studied for, perhaps. And you know, we probably all would have given anything just to have a normal social life at that point, because our lives were consumed by this world that was the Odyssey. But then when we look at what we've accomplished and how far we've come, well, isn't that what it's really all about? This is why we do theater, because we can share these experiences with one another and with the audience. And that's what the producers has led up to now. We're all looking forward to when that one goes and what the Odyssey's going to be. And sometimes the anticipation of that, even that end product, can be just fuel enough, despite the burning of the fuel from the antiseptic and stuff. But that's how this has all kind of come together. It's just been one amazing thing, and how I credit my personal success on my journey to the people who have helped me along the way. I've had, for the audition, for example, for the Odyssey, I had a dear friend who gave so much of her time to come and help me out, and she still points to me and says, it was all you. I say, no, it wasn't. That was as much your victory as it was mine. So that was probably also one of the biggest things I've learned while I've been here, is that never forget the people who are around you, because everyone, your friends, your family, they want you to succeed. They're going to be there for you. And through their help, you're going to find those depths within yourself, those pits of resolve that you can dig into that are just going to go deeper and deeper, you'll find, as I've come to discover too. And who knows where I'm going to go from here, because it is the senior year, and as much as I don't want to watch it go, it's been so much fun along the way. Well, life always moves on, and thus it is with me. And after I graduate, I'm going to go back home for a while, and I think sleep for ages and ages. And after that's done, then do a whole bunch of personal reflecting as I work and help out with my parents around the home and around the home business and around the farm. And I'm looking forward to that because it'll just be a change of pace and a really good chance for me to stop and look at everything that's been done, everything that's come to be, everything that was my college career, this whole Odyssey that has been my 4 years here at Mankato, my 4 wonderful years. And after that, it's looking like in September, I'm pretty sure this is what's going to happen. I'm going to move to LA, and I'm going to give my shot down there, and who knows how deep I'm going to have to dig to do that. But the nice thing is knowing that I have this background to know that I can dig within myself, and I can find those places where I can get the results that I want, and know that because I'm passionate about this, because I'm willing to persevere, because I have good friends and family, directors, professors here who I'm very happy to call friend, who I'm very happy they're in my life. The friends that I've made around here who I know I'm going to keep in touch with, they're all going to be there. And they're all going to help me out along the way, and they're all going to help me reach for those stars that I really want to achieve. So that's pretty much what I've been doing this year. Is I've been reaching for the stars, and I've grabbed more than a few of them. And I'm grateful for the time here, and I'm looking forward to where the year's going to take me in the future.